welcome back to the Milestone Moment, where we take top producing agents, ask them about their story and how they kind of got into real estate, maybe also their moment when it all changed. Today, I'm so excited. We have Barb Pexa and Lynn Crane, both with Keller Williams Bellevue. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
So tell me, how did you guys get started in real estate? If you can remember, obviously you're both veteran agents, super excited. Tell me about your background.
You want me to start? Well, I got into the business later, actually. I was 47 years old, which is a late start for an agent. I took the route of, I was a Division I head coach in the Big Ten.
And a gymnast, NCAA.
I competed at Penn State. And then I went on and coached at the University of Florida, and then I was the head coach at the University of Illinois for 10 years. Then I got married, started having babies, and decided I wanted to stay home for a while. Our lifestyle allowed that, and I'm so grateful for that. Stayed home for about 15 years. And then as my kids were entering high school and heading off to college, they weren't needing mom as much, and I was kind of at that moment where I was going to reinvent myself. And I thought real estate, I had a lot of friends at the time say, you need to do this, you'd be so good at it. Right. So I just kind of jumped in with both feet and absolutely loved it from the get-go and knew that it was my thing.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
And Barb, I should have said, and you're the Olympian. Obviously, you are also an athletic background, but tell us about...
It's one of the things we've talked about we have in common is I think that mental mindset of being an athlete and goal setting is part of what makes each of us individually as successful as we are.
Love that.
I was pretty young. I've been now in real estate 20 years. So I got into real estate when I was 30. It's a little bit, not super young, but I had been doing some investing and I wanted to learn more and more about that. And I bought my first condo when I was 21. My dad helped me set some goals for that. And I just decided I liked doing that so much that then I went into that as my primary business. I was in the restaurant business. You and I have that in common. We own restaurants. And I just wanted to level up, and I wanted an industry that I didn't have a boss outside of my clients or myself. And I wanted an industry where I didn't have a cap. I wasn't waiting for somebody to give me a raise, that if I worked hard, I was rewarded. And I just can't. I have a bit of a design background. I was an art major, went to design school, but I love the investing. I love the hands-on experience. We've rehabbed houses. So to me, it's like the perfect career for me.
I love that.
A little bit of business, a little bit of creativity. Yep.
Now, Lynn, question for you. I'm so impressed with how hyper-focused you are within your community. I mean, you are not only like, I think if a house gets sold on Harrison, if they don't sell it with you, I don't know what's going on. Yeah. But it's not, it's just obviously Issaquah in general, but obviously, how do you be so hyper-focused?
Yeah, and it happened really naturally. When I first get started, I think like any agent, you'd go anywhere, right? We would drive forever and take any listing we could. And I did that the first couple of years, and then I knew I really wanted to focus on my own community. I know some agents prefer not to work in their own community. I definitely wanted, I was living there in the Issaquah Highlands, and it was home, and I knew it so well. So it just segued into me being a very prominent real estate agent in that neighborhood, and the fact that I can walk to my listings and walk to my listing appointments and show houses that I can, are half a mile away. Right. It's brilliant. I don't think I drive more than 5 or 10 miles.
Oh my gosh. Now, if you say a friend of a friend wanted to sell a house in Puyallup, would you take that listing appointment, or is that like...
Probably at this point in my career, I would be at the referring out. Okay. I think I love being hyper-focused on my community, and I do enough business there that it sustains me. So a lot of things I refer at this point.
Yeah. I love that. Now, Barb, obviously you're fairly focused, but not as hyper-focused.
Not as focused. Yeah. I actually used to live in Snoqualmie for 16 years. So I've always kind of done like North Bend to Bellevue, but now more and more I live up on Cougar Mountain in Issaquah, and I've been focusing more and more on Issaquah in general. I don't know what pivoted for me. I just maybe spending more time here, but like really diving in and getting more roots in the community, things like that. And again, like what she said, is it's so nice to be in your community and be 5 minutes from your listings, because we can give better service when we're closer. We turn on lights, we go check every day. Like she locks down her houses day and night, and that's just a higher level of service when you're really close. And then I think you get to be a better master of your product versus being stretched into too many directions.
I love that. Yeah. Now, any advice you have for newer agents that says there's some that maybe, want to farm an area and they maybe didn't get to live in Issaquah Highlands and they're living somewhere else, but they would like to do business in a different community. Any advice? Obviously, being authentic, I think, is super important. But then again, you kind of have to fake it till you make it. Like any advice for somebody?
I think like being who you are, I actually think that's one of the reasons we both do really well is Barb is Barb. You get what you get.
Yep.
I am who I am. I'm authentic. I advise authentically. I remember once hiring a newish agent from a different team, and I was training him and he was like, it's okay to talk them out of buying a house. I'm like, yes, because if your professional opinion is it's too expensive or it doesn't meet their needs or they can't think about future needs, like it's our job to let them wait. I feel like I've always prided myself in 20 years in the business. I've only had one buyer with buyer's remorse. And that's because we give them the pros and the cons. We talk about this all the time. We're not in sales. We're not in the house business. We're in the people business. And if you take care of your people, your business will just grow exponentially.
And don't try to be everything for everyone. Focus on what you love and enjoy. And if that's high-rise condos in Bellevue, focus on that, hone in on that and lean into it. And if you're loving what you're doing and you're loving who you're working with, then you're going to be successful.
And we talk about this a lot, working your database, working your sphere. When we get calls, we'll take calls, of course, sign calls, farm calls, all that. But most of the people that call us know us, like us, and trust us already. So that's a nicer, more fun way to work. I was also coaching a new agent today, and I said, preview. If you don't have enough business and you want to know where you want to work, get out in there and that's the fake it till you make it. Go see every house, because then you can say, I've seen this one. And you might not have listed them or sold them.
You talk about it better.
Totally.
More.
You come across as more confident because because you've seen all the houses.
Yeah. That's why I go to open houses, just to see all your great listings and see all the things that you guys do and bring you some lunch as well. So this show, Milestone Moment, is there a moment when real estate, obviously starting later in your career, was there a moment that it all became?
Yeah, there was a moment for me. I was started off at a small brokerage in Issaquah, and I felt like I had reached sort of my max where I could go to at that brokerage, and I made a big decision to go to Keller Williams in Bellevue. It was more of a global brokerage, and there was more training, there was just more support, and I really did want to kind of lean into the luxury market a little bit more. And I think with Keller Williams, it just allowed me to do that more. It was a great decision. I had tripled my business within a year of joining there, and it just kept exponentially getting bigger from there, and able to kind of focus on the luxury, which I very much enjoy.
I love that. Yeah. Now, Barb, you've been at Keller Williams Bellevue for
my entire 20 years.
That is amazing. And by the way, I love your guys' office, the camaraderie, the people, Yasi. Just
we have really good team culture. I would say we're very sharing. I have a lot of friends at other brokerages, and they're near dear friends to mine. But we share, I think, in our office more. If somebody comes to me and wants one of my checklists or teach me how to do something, we're always willing to do that. Time willing, because we also have our own businesses.
That camaraderie is huge. I love that. Yep.
And I had I'm almost an opposite answer to her. So I've been at Keller my entire 20 years. I also started there because they had so much training. And the thing that I value most there is that they teach us how to build a business and how to build a team, how to do profile assessments to hire the right people that stay with you for a long time. So at one point I had a big team of 5 producing agents, and I really loved it, but I found that I didn't have enough people energy to focus on my team's hopes, dreams, fears, desires, goals, and all my clients.
And your clients and your family and all
and
the
so
things.
But that's really where as much as I love the leadership, I really was more satisfied with the client base, and I missed being stretched a little bit too thin, because then I was partnering with my agents, and I missed all the one-on-one high-quality FaceTime, showing up to all the wins and just the happy, satisfying stuff. So
there's
that
only
was
so
probably
much time, right? You just have to decide how it's going to be best spent. Correct?
Yep. And the interesting thing is I did as much once I moved on to just being a solo agent with maybe some support staff. I started doing just as much volume as my entire team, and I think it's because I was showing up authentically. And I'm also a workaholic. I think we both are. We do a lot of 15-hour days, but that's the rush that it gives me. And I didn't have the same rush when I was managing my team as when I'm interacting with my clients.
I love it. So that's one of those things that's, you love what you do, don't work a day in your life kind of thing. So your big moment was going back to just focusing on your clients and your business and growing from there.
Mm-hmm. And the customer service part of it. You're in the hospitality business. I can't remember the exact saying, but it's a difference between, there's a question, and it might have been Will Guidara or somebody, what's the difference between hospitality, customer service and hospitality? And it's like customer service is the things you do for people. Hospitality is the way you make them feel. And it's like that's what people remember.
Remember how you made
They
them
don't
feel.
remember all the little details. They remember that how much you went above and beyond to get all these different things done for them. And that's what I want people to feel like.
So for a newer agent, obviously it's pouring into your clients, it's being hyper-focused in an area. Is there anything that you would say like that they should maybe also think about doing? What's another pillar that you think is super important?
Be authentic. What we do is relatively easy, but be who you are, genuinely who you are. Your clients will know. And I always tell people, I am not the smartest agent in the room, but what you will get with me is 100% trust. Yeah. You will get a hardworking agent, and I'm there for you every single step of the way. I think that goes so much further than, I don't know, just somebody who may be more experienced than
well, I think,
especially for newer.
And you said it on another panel I was with you on, you've just been dead honest with listing clients to tell them like your house won't sell for this, and they appreciate the honesty, authenticity, the expertise, and just shooting it straight, I guess.
That's right.
They want to be guided. They're hiring you to guide them, not to be a yes person.
Right. Oh, whatever price you want, we're going to do it, right?
We won't buy listings, that's a quote. I mean, a term. We won't buy it. If we don't think we can be successful, we won't take them on because we fail and they fail.
Yeah, I love that. Now, you guys are kind of working together. I mean, as this year, this market has been interesting, and there's been a lot of changes in the market in general. Is there anything that you guys are excited, either collectively or individually, about this market?
We're very excited right now.
We've just sort of fallen into this happy-go-lucky partnership. We partnered on a house up in the Issaquah Highlands. What was that, 4 years ago?
Yeah, about 4.
4 years ago. And we just hit it off. And it's weird. Like, we show up in matching outfits without talking about it. We say the same things. People compliment us on our energy and how we work similarly.
I think for a while I thought you were related, honestly. I didn't even know you guys well enough.
People that are around us are just like, you're banter together. Like, you're finishing each other's sentences. It's weird. And so we started talking about how we can merge these two. We're both very strong, independent women who have created these amazing independent businesses together, or independently, that we want to bring them together and merge them, but keep our entities, separate, but under one umbrella. Just start to bring things together. We often help each other anyways.
Right.
So we're
make
just
it more formal.
make it a little more formal. Start branding together.
We both want to live big lives and have big businesses. Yeah. We both like to travel, so then we have somebody that can cover for each other all the time. And this business can be a little bit isolating if you're not on a big team. Yep. And I don't mean isolating, but you need to call people to like, what do you think about this? I'm checking myself. Am I emotional in this response? Where do you think the market went this week? Because things are changing so fast. And so now we put each other on each other's listings, and then there's always coverage. We go to appointments together, and I might take the lead with my clients. She takes the lead with her clients, but we're always in the background supporting each other. We have the same contractors, stagers, painters. It was just happening like this. Like it
was actually happening without us even intentionally doing it. So then now this year we're getting much more intentional about it, and it's so fun, and it's flowing so easily, and our clients are even noticing, and they're seeing us at open houses. They're like, you guys are doing something different. And it's like, yeah, we are. It's fun.
My gosh. And they had 2 experienced agents for the price of one.
This is 30 years of experience. If you hire either one of us, and we would never compete with each other. If somebody called me and somebody called her, we're like, we're just a package deal. Yep. So for a client to get that, and we sort of joke, like, she's on the Issaquah Highlands, I'm on Cougar Mountain, like, we have these round circular logos. I was like, we're just going to play volleyball.
Yep.
And like,
just anything between there.
All of Issaquah together. Yeah.
So we kind of have the territory covered.
That is so
See,
good.
we finish each other's sentences.
Amazing for clients. Obviously, they get the coverage that they may need or the support. And there's times where you want to be with family and you can take a trip with your husband or
totally.
Exactly. It is hard when you're independent to have that life, and
we work really hard to have big lives, right? And so, but then if you're so strapped by your business that you can't have a big life, well, that's not what we want
you're just
either.
In the business, not able to even grow the business if you're just.
She has a dream trip coming up in July that she's taking. That was a big bucket list trip for her. I'm so proud of her, and I'll be here to cover. So like that that gives people freedom, and it'll give me freedom when I take my trips. And so it's a really big benefit.
And before, if you traveled, you'd have to pull in, other agents maybe from the office that you didn't know very well, or didn't have that trusting working relationship
or that
with.
You could have people cover, but you didn't always want them to interface with your clients.
Right.
We interface with our clients so similarly, and we've been doing this slowly for a couple of years that there's just no concern that we wouldn't respond on behalf of each other. Like, I know this is what Lynn would want, and she would be like, this is what Barb would want.
Right. And now, is there going to be growing from there? Are you guys trying to hire new agents alongside of you and mentor, or is it more just...
At this point, we're just going to do this. I think we're going to see how the rest of the year goes. It's going so well, just as is, that we'll just...
And again, going back to, I had a big team. I'm not sure that's really where I want to pour my energy and love of clients in. Yeah. We obviously have support people. We have transaction coordinators, people that help with marketing, things like that. But for the most part, we can handle it all.
And we both love we love the business so much. We love our people. Yeah. We're both type A. We we want to care for our clients ourselves.
And I think we both. I think it's the athletes in us that we thrive under pressure. Yeah. And we joke, today for me was an air traffic controller day. We talk about we're just landing all these planes. We've got vendors going to do bids and paint because we're bringing 3 or 4 listings on in the next week. And we just love it.
Yeah.
If you're in Issaquah Highlands, watch out. They are coming for you. Or Cougar Mountain, you're in trouble. These girls, I'm definitely nervous for what you guys are going to do with this business. I'm so excited. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was going to say, it's not a new thing. You guys have had so much success.
You were talking about the Issaquah Highlands, how she dominates. And I was meeting her up on an upcoming listing to see it. And I just wanted to get a visual on the house because I knew she would walk there. So sometimes I'm looking for her car. Yeah. And so I was like, I want to see what the house looks like. And so I just Googled the address. So Redfin comes up and the 3 houses underneath it for pricing. Lynn Crane.
Yeah. I was talking to a title rep. They're like, oh, where are you? I'm like, I'm going to go see Lynn. And they pulled up your numbers and all the closed deals. And I'm like, I know, I want to stop, but they were just like, oh, you should really talk. I'm like, I know Lynn. I'm not, believe me.
Well, I will say the 2 of us are completely filled with gratitude about what we've been able to do, and we're so grateful for our clients and the growth of our businesses, and it's just.
But I think that's another reason why we do so well is we come from gratitude, we come from abundance. We're never coming from scarcity. We don't compete with friends and clients or agents that we know from our office. I mean, because our people are our people. And if you come from abundance, not scarcity, there's just, we're both like manifestors. And people will say like, what do you do for goal setting? And Keller teaches you how to do all these things. I'm like, this is my number. I put it out there and it just happens.
We are literally creating our dream life.
That's so good. Well, now, obviously, you make it sound very easy, but it is a process. I know you do client interaction, you do consistent things, you have a process. Anything about your process that you can share for a newer agent? Like, is that just being consistent with outreach? Is it events? Is it like, I know that you do
a little bit
so
of
much fun
all
stuff.
of it. Like I'm a big note card. I did a lot of ninja selling coaching, which is from Colorado. And it's like, it's loving on your people, note cards, gratitude. I used to, for years when we had, through the restaurant, I would cater and host buyers' housewarming parties. I've gotten away from that a little bit. She does some cool stuff for client appreciation.
Yeah, I do food trucks. I do some bigger events in the Issaquah Highlands, which is super fun. And it's not really about selling the house necessarily, but we had the Dick's Burger truck come up to the Issaquah Highlands.
We gave away
recently.
500 burgers from the Dick's Burger truck.
I knew that was going to be popular, but yeah, it's more of a neighborhood appreciation event. When I have a listing, I'll get the Ben and Jerry's truck every once in a while.
And then everybody's talking about you, and it's great social posting.
And it's great social media, and everyone's just thankful. They're like, oh, free ice cream on Lynn. It's great.
But it's also
a way to give back.
But it's also showing gratitude, right? Because the community does support. So then if you it's just a great. Yeah. We did one with a coffee cart because it was on a park one morning. It was like a Saturday morning. We got really lucky in March or something. It was like 65 degrees. And we gave
away
like a morning
free
open
espresso. House. It was super fun. So doing things that are different.
But people remember that. And then that's giving, right? It's a giving culture, not like a, hey, I need business. It's just like, I'm here to show up.
You're in front of people, you're enjoying it, and you get to
and just
continue.
Have fun. Like for newer agents, just enjoy what you're doing. It is contagious, and people will feel it.
Well, I think it goes back to, I was thinking earlier, asking about how to be. It's like, I think if who you project out there, if that's your authentic self, you attract your tribe. Sure. My biggest listing of my career was like $6.5 million. And I remember when they came to me, they cited all these things that they'd seen on my social media, my certain things, and they connected to me. And we didn't even really interact. It was an old contact. Right. And it was really eye-opening of, if you project who you are, your authentic self, your tribe attracts. We don't attract jerks because we're not jerks. There's another word I use, but anyways, it's like, we attract the people that are attracted to us because they feel connection.
Correct.
And that's more fun.
Yeah, man. Well, you guys have both been great guests. Is there any parting words that you'd like to have for our viewers? Anything you want to finish off our episode?
I would say don't buy into any of the storylines that don't serve you. The market, the interest rates, create your own market, create your own mindset. We just believe we're busier than ever. And agents are talking about listings not selling. We put together 2 listings went today.
Yeah.
2 listings went mutual today.
Multiple offers.
Like on the way here.
Yeah, change the narrative.
Yeah.
Sometimes when the news and everything is negative, we in the industry can control it, and we just need to be positive with our clients. We can help them so much get over the fear. But we need to realize how powerful our voice is.
That's fantastic advice. I was actually at an event and there was an agent going, "Oh, did you see what Trump and Elon did?" And another realtor goes, "I don't listen to any of that. I look at this here," and he was on Fellow. He's like, "I know that all these transactions are happening and I just try and get in front of as many of them as I can. That's all I can control."
Yeah.
And that's such a great mindset of like, control what you can, let the rest of it go. Yeah. Be authentic, and obviously connect with people.
And like for buyers right now, this is a good market for buyers because we have a lot of buyers that we're losing out time and time again and being priced out. And if I've got a bunch of buyers that we just put under contract because they're 5 to 10 years. So say the market did drop in value this year.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter until they sell. And I don't mean to be blasé about their money, but they can actually get in at a reasonable rate and not
compete.
We're just talking with sellers, not give away a kidney and a right arm and $100,000 more than you should really spend to win a house.
Yeah. I ran numbers on a 2-1 buy down that you could get in this market currently, and best case, what I think rates will get to this year. Compare that, and then, oh, by the way, you're probably going to be $50,000 or $100,000 higher, maybe
because everybody wants back in.
Everyone
on the payments, $1,200 better currently. It's just getting the news. The hardest thing is just getting in front of the people because some of those people aren't searching right now because they're afraid, right? So it's getting the word out and educating and being in front of them.
On that note, I would say one thing we've really noticed that's been an industry change since the buyer brokered services agreements have been required. We are noticing in our open houses there are a lot of unattended or unrepresented buyers. They're doing all their legwork. They're coming back over and over, and then they're not calling their agent till the very time to make an offer. And then we're watching them lose out because they haven't been prepared. They haven't engaged their agent. Their agent is a part-timer that's maybe crediting back their commission because they didn't do the legwork, but they're being poorly advised, and I just picked up a buyer that was being poorly advised multiple times over by an agent not servicing them properly, and that's not good for the consumer either. So,
and the really good homes that are priced well and presented well are still going quickly.
You're absolutely right.
So,
Yep.
I guess that's what I'd say. Another thing that we do is we have a contractor that works almost full time between the two of us because we keep him so busy. But paint, carpet, it's the houses that are in good. The way I look at it is payments are high. Down payments are high based on our price point. People don't have the money to take on projects. If your house isn't completely buttoned up, you're not going to be the one that's going to move.
Right. Yeah. And price comes down to value. So if they're like, the payment is already going to be high, we know that. But if they don't see with their eyes the value because you didn't present the right product, then that's when price becomes an issue, right?
People only question price in the absence of value. And that's for our commissions and that's for the sales price of the house.
Sure. Yeah. Wow, you guys have both been great, passing on so much information. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having us. That's fun.
Thanks. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much.